Good day, class. You know, I enjoyed our field trip to go play Spacewar so much that I decided to take us on another field trip. This time we'll be visiting a private collector in Cincinnati, Ohio to take a look at the very first arcade game, Computer Space. When we talk about how influential Spacewar was, we don't need to look any further than Computer Space. The game was created by Nolan, Bushnell, and Ted Dabney to be a coin-operated version of Spacewar. The two recognized that many people kept coming back to play Spacewar, and because of this, people may come back to play other games again and again. If people are willing to spend their time to come back and repeatedly play your game, they may be willing to spend their money as well. They weren't the only pair to have this idea, as Bill Pitts and Hugh Tuck developed a very similar arcade game called Galaxy Game with the exact same theme in mind. To make some real money off of Computer Space, Bushnell partnered with Nutting Associates to mass manufacture game cabinets, and nearly 1,500 were sold.
I was on Facebook somewhere around October of 2014, and I saw on a video arcade game page that I was on, buying and selling, that there was a computer space for sale in St. Louis, Missouri. So I contacted the guy immediately, and he said he wanted $2,000 for the machine, and I said, I'll take it. And then he messaged me back a little bit later, and he said, I'd really like to get $3,000 out of the machine. So I said, okay, I'll take it. It's the only game I kept. I had about 100 machines in my personal collection. It's just a beautiful, it looks like a piece of art. It's beautiful. And I believe it's an integral part of our pop culture history. You know, it's the first commercially sold arcade game.
Computer Space did its part to kick off arcade gaming, but how does it hold today? Well, it's certainly designed to look like something from outer space. Let's just hope the controls aren't too alien to grasp. You control a rocket ship that is engaged in a battle with two flying saucers. Much like Spacewar, your controls consist of rotating your ship clockwise or counterclockwise, using thrust to propel yourself in a given direction, and the fire missile button to shoot down the saucers. You can even use your rotating buttons to curb your missile after you fire to hit a tricky target. There is a counter that goes up to 99, and the goal is to have more points than the flying saucers by the time the count is finished. If you don't, it's game over. But if you do, you get to play an extra round. However, sometimes when you get to the extra round, the display may change. If you get more than 9 points, your points may be labeled as a number of different things depending on the cabinet you're playing. In my case, I get some weird symbol, but in other cases, the number will change to letters or just simply count up to 15. At a certain point, your score will inevitably roll over back to 0, and if the counter runs out now, you end up losing. The game is a little complex to grasp, but nothing too crazy. Unfortunately for Bushnell and Dabney, that's exactly how people perceived it though. Although the game made more than $1 million, a financial success for Nutting Associates, it wasn't as successful as they had hoped for. Because of the relatively low number of cabinets that were sold, and the fact that people didn't really like it that much, the first arcade game has fallen into obscurity, and not many working cabinets are still around, let alone ones that are playable at an arcade. While Computer Space didn't start the arcade craze, it did start the arcade movement. And because of that, we'll be taking a look at a lot more early arcade games very soon, right here on VG 101.